talk about Micah Parsons and Terry McLaurin real quick.
Oh boy! All right,
So
so to
yeah, let's start
keep
with your
the
boy. Let's start with your
yeah,
boy.
let's start with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is simply giving the Joneses a taste of their own medicine, playing dirty in the media and trying to sway the court of public opinion, so to speak, in their favor. And it's working because the fans are livid. They are not happy about this whole scenario. And it doesn't help that the Joneses refused to comment on the situation. They had no comment on the situation because they didn't expect a player to finally stand up to them in this manner. And I love to see it. I'm not mad at Michael at all. We all know this is just posturing. They're not going to trade him. And they always fold at the end and just pay the players more than what they honestly had to give up if they just would have paid them earlier. But hey, that's their money. It ain't my money. So at the end of the day, I think this will be resolved before the season starts. I do believe they'll pay Micah Parsons whatever the market dictates. As far as the Terry McLaurin thing, it's kind of the same thing, except this is a little different because Terry McLaurin is about to be 30. I do think I just saw a clip earlier of Terry McLaurin after practice, the Commanders training camp practice. He was, he's walking around, he's smiling, he's hugging. He hugged Jaden Daniels' mom's, dapped up Josh Harris. It was all cool. So I just think these are just leverage moves. They're just trying to, speed up negotiation process, put a little pressure on the team because in this era of social media, that stuff matters a lot. The way fan perception matters a lot to these organizations and teams. So that's what it all was. I do expect both of these players to be signed before the season starts. Terry McLaurin probably sooner, if I had to guess. But I wouldn't panic if I was a Commanders fan. I wouldn't panic, and Cowboys fans, you honestly should have panicked. This is just the same thing we always see with additional steps, and it seems like this time the players are on Micah's side. CD came out and saying this always happens. It's always some foolishness, blah blah blah. And a couple players on the defense changed their profile picture to Micah Parsons. So this is going to be a little bit of a process, but they'll get there eventually. The Joneses always fold. They don't know what they're doing up there.
Yeah, it's just all performative at the end of the day.
Yeah,
It's all to get
this is
people
soap
on their
opera
side.
as always.
Yeah, that's really what it is. And I do agree with you on that part with Terry McLaurin. I think both sides will eventually agree on a number that fits both the timeline of where Jaden Daniels is at and also just Terry McLaurin's timeline as well. He's about to be 30 years old in September. So ultimately, in football terms, when a wide receiver turns 30, it's just like with a running back when he turns 28. It's not the greatest in terms of money wise that a team will be willing to offer you. But I do believe with Terry McLaurin, the fact that he came off his best year as a pro, making second team all pro. And I do believe that they'll give him around 30, maybe $31 million. I believe Terry, both of them, they can come to an agreement that will both make them happy and it'll ultimately get it together. Stephen A. Smith, for whatever reason, he was able to get information about what the Commanders offered Terry McLaurin and those $27 million. Okay, whatever. But regardless, again, $27 million sounds like a low ball, but I do believe they'll get around $30 million a year. I believe they'll get around that range, especially with CD, with Justin Jefferson, with Jamar Chase got just recently. Justin Jefferson got about 35, CD got about 34, and Jamar Chase got 40 million. I do believe Terry will get close around 30-31 million dollars, and then everybody will be happy. With Micah Parsons, he's going to set the market. He's going to set the market. I do believe he's going to reset the market for edge rushers / I don't know if it's coverage linebacker or whatever, off ball linebacker. Okay. I believe he's going to set the market for off ball edge, in my opinion, because he's just that versatile player and he's such an important piece to the Cowboys defense. We already talked about this last year with the whole CD situation when he signed that contract. We were like, yo, if CD getting this amount of money, what's going to happen to Micah? So now we're here. I will say, as a Cowboys fan, like for your situation, paying a lot of money for 3 players, just in my mind, I just think that's just crazy.
Well, when you have, see, it's a little different because the 2 players out of the 3, they're both top 3 in their position.
Right. But I'm just saying, in terms of if you're trying to win football games, paying a quarterback $60 million, paying a wide receiver 34 million a year, and paying Micah Parsons a lot of money that's probably going to reset the market. Like, how are you supposed to compete? Like, you're going to have to draft well.
See, it's not like ideal, but the thing is, the Joneses, they don't participate in free agency, so the money got to get spent somewhere. They are a draft and develop style team. They don't, and if they do participate in free agency, it's bargain bin shopping for the most part. They're not going out and signing big contracts and getting them type of players, so they have to spend the money somewhere.
Okay. No,
and I also heard they've been working on other deals. Like I heard they was working on Tyler Smith and DeRon Bland deals. So I'm really trying to figure out what the end game. This is why I believe this is all just drama. Like they just like drama.
Yeah, and they just because
clearly they're trying to show that they can get deals done earlier. Because DeRon Bland, he honestly could play the full year. We could negotiate that contract next year. But if they're trying to get it done now, they know that they should be playing players earlier. They just want drama. They only do this to the star players.
Right. Yeah. And Trayvon Diggs, I think he's going to be gone. I don't think he's going to be done.
I think he's done after this season. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like he's going to be an odds man out with the Micah deal. And then you have CD, and then you have Dak, and then DeRon Bland is up for a new deal. So it just seems like he's going to be looking for another team, especially for the fact that he's coming off of a major injury. So you have that to worry about. But yeah, I agree with you. I think this is not a big deal at all. It's just performance. And also, at the end of the day,
there's a difference between requesting and demanding a trade.
Right.
Requesting a trade is more so like, if this deal doesn't get done, I'd like to be traded. But if you demand a trade, it's like, forget this money, forget this team. I want out of here. So, and like we said, we've seen this play ran before by players in the past. T. Higgins requested a trade. Lamar Jackson requested a trade. Myles Garrett just requested a trade. So, this isn't nothing new or anything like that.
Yeah, it's just a part of the process, I guess.
Negotiation, yeah.
It's part of the negotiation
part
process
for the course,
at the end of the day. That's the only leverage they have is just put the pressure on the organization by saying, I request a trade. Okay, gotcha.